Hare Krishna. First of all, I want to say that I'm very happy to be here. There was a time when I used to live in Hyderabad actually. I had my setup here, and at that time I was actually planning to spend a lot of time in Hyderabad, and I did spend about 6-7 months here in Shiva Supreme. I used to have a setup in Jubilee Hills, and I'm very happy to see how wonderfully this temple is developing. I'm very impressed to see that there are so many of you attending the Bhagavatam class. Not many temples in ISKCON have this kind of attendance. The other day when I was speaking to Vedanta Chaitanya Prabhu, Vedanta Chaitanya Prabhu was insisting that I stay through the Sunday morning at least, because he said that many devotees won't be able to come on Saturday, so I should be here on Sunday morning. So if this is the crowd on Saturday morning, I can well imagine how will be the crowd on Sunday morning. Thank you very much. I am very happy to see you all, and I can also assure you that Srila Prabhupada will be very pleased. Srila Prabhupada's only desire was that the Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, in every town and village. And unfortunately, when Prabhupada was here, not so many Indians came forward. Our temples used to mostly have devotees from America and Europe. Very few Indians. And Prabhupada used to sometimes lament that everyone is coming, but the Indians are not coming. And today, Srila Prabhupada will be so pleased to see so many of you are coming. So many of you are participating in the Sankirtan movement. Because the future of this movement is actually lying with Indian participation. Bharat bhumite hoilo manushya janma jar, janma sarthak kori koro paro upokar. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu inspired that those who are born in the holy land of India, they must make their life successful by benefiting others, by giving them Krishna consciousness. Why so much emphasis on India or Indians? Because the scriptures say that when one finishes all his business in this material nature, and he becomes ready to get out of this material nature to go back to the spiritual sky, then he gets an opportunity to be born in India. This is such a wonderful land with so many opportunities, spiritual opportunities, that even the demigods pray to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that if they have any piety left, with that piety they be allowed to take birth in India. This is how glorious the land of India is. Gayanti deva kila gita gani dhannastuye bharata bhumi. This is how glorious this land is. And that's why Prabhupada was so concerned about Indian participation. And it's happening. All over the world it is happening. But at the same time, we should not just make ISKCON as an Indian club. Not only Indians, we should include everybody. Indians should take the initiative because it is their culture. They have been born in this culture, therefore they are very close to this culture. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai, Jai Shri Shri Gaurnitai ki Jai Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Mahan ki Gaur Premanande. So please take up this mission very seriously. You've finished your business in this material nature. What is there in this material nature? It's only illusion, running after a mirage for sense gratification. Running after the mirage of sense gratification, trying to get some joy out of it. But can you ever quench your thirst by running after a mirage? No matter how fast and how much you run after a mirage, you'll never be able to quench your thirst. Similarly, running after the sense gratification in the material nature will never be satisfied. So, let us become serious. This life should be offered to Krishna. And how do we offer this life to Krishna? By becoming engaged in spreading Krishna consciousness, giving Krishna consciousness to others. And this is how it expands. Just like initially there were few devotees, not so many of you are here, but these devotees here, they were giving, they were preaching to others. They went to you and told you, look, this is what Krishna consciousness is. This is what Srila Prabhupada's teachings are. This is how you make your life successful. And you took their message seriously. And that's why you are here today. Now what are you going to do? I'm sure you are doing that also. Now you are going out and telling others to become Krishna conscious. How many of you think that it is important that we carry this message out to the people? Please raise your hand. Yes, I knew all the hands will go up. Thank you. So take this message to everyone, give it to them, and then this is how this movement will spread. And every town and village. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 26. King Purañjana goes to the forest to hunt. Text 4. Cacāra mṛgayāṁ tatra dṛpta ātteṣu-kārmukaḥ vihāya jāyām atad-arhāṁ vihāya jāyām atad-arhāṁ vihāya jāyām atad-arhāṁ mṛga-vyasana-lālasaḥ. Translation by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. It was almost impossible for King Purañjana to give up the company of his queen, even for a moment. Nonetheless, on that day, being very much inspired by the desire to hunt, he took up his bow and arrow with great pride and went to the forest, not caring for his wife. Please repeat after me. It was almost impossible for King Purañjana to give up the company of his queen, even for a moment. Nonetheless, On that day, being very much inspired by the desire to hunt, he took up his bow and arrow with great pride, and went to the forest, not caring for his wife. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. One form of hunting is known as woman hunting. A conditioned soul is never satisfied with one wife. Those whose senses are very much uncontrolled, especially to hunt for many women. King Purañjana's abandoning the company of his religiously married wife is representative of the conditioned soul's attempt to hunt for many women for sense gratification. Wherever a king goes, he is supposed to be accompanied by his queen. But when the king or conditioned soul becomes greatly overpowered by the desire for sense gratification, he does not care for religious principles. Instead, with great pride, he accepts the bow and arrow of attachment and hatred. Our consciousness is always working in two ways, the right way and the wrong way. When one becomes too proud of his position, influenced by the mode of passion, he gives up the right path and accepts the wrong one. Kshatriya kings are sometimes advised to go to the forest to hunt ferocious animals just to learn how to kill. But such forays are never meant for sense gratification. Killing animal to eat their flesh is forbidden for human beings. Om Ajnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayham Dadati Swapadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama cacāra mṛgayāṁ tatra dṛpta ātteṣu-kārmukaḥ vihāya jāyām atad-arhāṁ mṛga-vyasana-lālasaḥ. It was almost impossible for King Purañjana to give up the company of his queen even for a moment. Nonetheless, on that day, being very much inspired by the desire to hunt, he took up his bow and arrow with great pride and went to the forest, not caring for his life, not caring for his wife. So, these last few chapters are actually first described the glorious activities of Prithu Maharaj and how Prithu Maharaj went back to Godhead, and then started the description of Prithu Maharaj's descendants. Prithu Maharaj's eldest son was Vijitāśva. The name Vijitāśva is actually very significant. Vijita, it's a combination of two words, Vijita and Ashva. Ashva means a horse and Vijita means conquered. Prithu Maharaj was performing a horse sacrifice. He performed 99 horse sacrifices. And the 100th horse sacrifice, when it was being performed, then Indra stole the horse. Indra was afraid that Prithu Maharaj may take over his position. That shows how attached Indra is, and sometimes how the demigods fail to recognize the position of a very, very exalted devotee or an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of God. In Krishna's Vrindavan pastimes, Indra made the same mistake, and here also Prithu Maharaj was making the same mistake. He thought that Prithu Maharaj is an ordinary living entity trying to take over his heavenly planet. But he didn't realize that Prithu Maharaj is a very, very exalted personality. He is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are six kinds of incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and one is Shaktavesh avatar. And Prithu Maharaj is a Shaktavesh, empowered incarnation of the Lord. And Prithu Maharaj has performed so many wonderful activities. So Prithu Maharaj is not interested in the position of Indra. What to speak of Prithu Maharaj? Even a devotee of Krishna doesn't care for the position of Indra in the heavenly planet. It has been described as Koivalla Narakayate, Tridasha Pura Akasha Pushpayate. So position of Tridasha Pura, the heavenly planets, is to a devotee is simply a phantasmagoria. They know it's all illusory. There may be some apparent enjoyment in the heavenly planets, but they don't mean anything. Even if in a dream you become a king, does it have any value? So similarly, material nature to a devotee, the existence in the material nature is like a dream. So in that dream, if you become an Indra or Chandra or Varuna or even Brahma, what's the big deal in it? Not only position of Indra, a devotee considers Kaivalya, liberation, Kaivalya, Narakayate, like going to hell. To a devotee, liberation is like hell. So what to speak of enjoyment in heavenly planets? One attains liberation when one completely gives up any desire to have anything to do in this material nature. Then only he aspires for liberation. But that liberation, Kaivalya, to a devotee is like Narakayate. Narak means hell. Narakayate means going to hell. Anyway, so Indra is Indra, the conditioned soul, poor guy. So he stole the horse of Prithu Maharaj. And Prithu Maharaj's eldest son went after Indra and snatched the horse away from him, and he could have killed Indra, but he spared him. The poor guy, why should I unnecessarily kill him? So, you can see how the Vedic names are so significant. He conquered the horse that was taken away by Indra, or conquered the horse from Indra, which was stolen by Indra. So his name is Vijitashu. So this way we can see that these names are given according to the quality of the person that will be displayed later on. His name was given at the time of his birth, right after his birth. But they could see that this is what he would do, and therefore he got a name like that, Vijitashu. He had another name, atad-arhāṁ. So Prithu Maharaj's son is Vijitasha or atad-arhāṁ. Atad-arhāṁ's son was Havirdhan, and Havirdhan's son was Barhishat. And this Barhishat had 10 sons. They are known as the Prachetas. So So when the Prachetas were ordered by their father to get married and enter into household life, they immediately went to perform austerities under the water. And in course of their travel, they came across Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva taught them how to pray to the Supreme Personality of God. And according to Lord Shiva's instructions, they performed austerities for 10,000 years, chanting the name, chanting the mantra that Lord Shiva taught them. And now in the meantime, Narad Muni saw that the sons are becoming such wonderful devotees of the Lord, but look at the father. He is simply engrossed in his sense gratification. Not in a crude way, but in a subtle way. He was very much involved in performing. He is very much involved in performing austerities. Vedic sacrifices, according to the Karmakanda section. And Prabhupada mentioned how he was performing sacrifices, that he would complete one sacrifice here, and right after that place he will start another sacrifice. So in this way he was just performing one after another sacrifice all over the world. But for what? These sacrifices are meant for sense gratification. Performance of sacrifice according to the Karmakanda section of the Vedas is simply for sense gratification. So Narad Muni felt that sons have become so advanced, but the father is still caught up in his mundane activities, Karmakanda activities of the Vedas, which are actually meant for sense gratification. So Narad Muni appeared to King Purañjana, the father of the Prachetas and great-grandson of Prithu Maharaj. So Narad Muni straight away told him, these activities you are performing uselessly. It's not going to benefit you. In the material nature, everyone tries to finish off his suffering condition and have a joyful state of existence. In the material nature, everyone wants to finish his suffering condition and be happy. But Narad Muni told him that by performing these Vedic sacrifices, Karmakanda sacrifices, you will never be able to mitigate your suffering condition and have a real enjoyment in this world. And in that respect, Narad Muni started to relate one story to him. He told him about a king. His name was Purañjana. And Purañjana was trying to enjoy in various ways. He was traveling around in search of enjoyment. Then finally he comes to a very beautiful land on the southern part of the Himalayan mountain. And the name of that land is Bharatvarsha. And there he saw a very beautiful city with 9 gates. And he was very attracted to the city. The city was beautiful, beautifully built, had 9 gates, and had beautiful lakes surrounded by beautiful garden. And there he came across an exquisitely beautiful woman. And he immediately fell in love with her. She was so beautiful. And this woman happened to be the queen of that city of 9 gates. And she was surrounded by 10 attendants And each of those 10 servants had hundreds of wives. And she was being protected by a snake with 5 hoods. And this woman also was very much attracted by Purañjana. And then they got married. Purañjana became the king of the city of 9 gates. Now this was actually an allegorical story. Allegorical story means through this story some important message was to be conveyed. The story was meant to convey some message. What was the message that Narad Muni was conveying to King Purañjana? Who is Purañjana? Purañjana is a living entity. Living entity in this material nature, what does he want? He wants to enjoy. And that's why he is traveling in so many different places throughout the universe. Sometimes in heavenly planets, sometimes in lower planets, sometimes he's enjoying, sometimes he's suffering. In this way, he is traveling, riding on a body given by the material nature. Jantra ruhani maya. But then he gets an opportunity, then he comes across this beautiful beautiful place. The place in the southern part of Himalayan mountain, known as Bharatvarsha. And in Bharatvarsha he comes across a city of 9 gates. What is the city of 9 gates? The human body. The human body has 9 gates. Those 9 gates are 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 nostrils, mouth, anus and genital. So these are the 9 gateways. So Purañjana came across this. That means he got a human form of life in the land of Bharatvarsha. So this is why again we are coming back to that point. To get a human body in the land of India is very special. So Purañjana got this human body in the land of India. And who is the queen? The queen is the intelligence. Who are the 10 servants of the queen? The 10 senses. 5 knowledge acquiring senses and 5 working senses. And then the queen is protected by a snake with 5 hoods. What is the snake with 5 hoods? The 5 kinds of airs. Pran, Apan, Shaman, Vayan and Udan. That makes the functioning of the human body possible due to these 5 kinds of airs. Pancha, Vayu. So in this way, Narad Muni advised King Purañjana about the story of Purañjana. At the end, so Purañjana now he is described how is Purañjana trying to cheat his wife. Like he goes to forest to hunt. Prabhupada is pointing out what kind of hunting is that? That is woman hunting. A man is not satisfied with one wife. Conditioned so. He thinks that wife is meant for sense gratification. Therefore, he always runs after newer and newer possibilities of sense gratification. But the purpose of getting married is not just to have sense gratification. The purpose of getting married is to become properly situated on the path of dharma. So that happens only when one comes to Krishna consciousness. Otherwise, in the material nature, that is what is going on. One gets married thinking that he'll be happy, but then he realizes, no, she is not giving him happiness. Then he thinks he made a mistake marrying her. So he thinks if he gets some other woman, he'll feel happy. Like as I told you, the mirage, running after mirage. You see a mirage and you think that there is the water. A traveler in the middle of a desert becomes thirsty. He wants water. But is it possible to get water in the desert? What do you get in the desert? It's hot sand. And sometimes this hot sand gives the impression of water. You see, it appears like a mirage. What actually happened? How many of you studied physics, light? What is the cause of mirage? Reflection. The thin air causes the light rays to reflect, bend. And then it reaches the optimum point when it cannot bend anymore. Then what happens? It goes to the other direction. And as a result of that, what you see? You see the tree upside down. You're seeing the tree, you're seeing the real tree, and you're seeing the other tree which is upside down. And upside down means it gives the impression that there is water and the reflection of the tree in the water. But is the reflection on water or the reflection on fire? Hot sand is not water. Hot sand is fire. So running after fire, can you ever quench your thirst? So similarly, our endeavor to enjoy in the material nature is something like running after a mirage. It's never going to quench our thirst. But because we are in illusion, because we are in ignorance, we keep running, thinking, well, we'll get it, it'll happen. Another 5 minutes, I'll reach it. Then I'll quench my thirst. And one after another, it just keeps on taking us away. A man thinks that, she's such a beautiful girl, I must get her. And he marries her. But then he sees that what he wanted, he can't get through her. Then he thinks maybe some other girl. Not only a woman, with everything. He thinks, if I get this house, I'll be so happy. He buys the house. Then does he become happy? Maybe for 5 minutes. But then he becomes miserable. Especially when the roof starts to leak. And especially when the bills come from the tax department. Then he thinks, this house is not good enough, let me get another house. If he can afford it, he gets another house. He still is unhappy. He tries another house, still he is unhappy. Running after a mirage. So this is how all our endeavor in the material nature to enjoy will end in an acute frustration. So that is what Narada Muni is trying to point out to King Purañjana. That after he narrated the whole story, Purañjana wanted to know what it is all about that you are talking about. And then Narada Muni explained to him how Purañjana is the spirit soul, the queen is the intelligence, the city of Nine Gate is the human body, and the snake is the five-hooded snake is the 5 kinds of airs. And then there will be, later on you will see how the story develops. The city of Purañjana is attacked by Chandavega. And then Kalakanya embraces Purañjana. Kalakanya, the daughter of time. And when daughter of time embraced Purañjana, Purañjana lost all his strength. What is the daughter of time? What embrace of daughter of time? Old age. She embraces you very nicely. But the result is, you lose all your vitality, you become old. You don't even have the strength to stand up. And then Javanraja's soldiers come, Jamraja's soldiers come and drag Purañjana out of that city of 9 years. Takes him to Jamalaya for judgment. But then Purañjana comes across his friend whom Purañjana forgot. Who is that friend? That friend is Vaishnava Thakur. And Vaishnava Thakur reminds Purañjana about how his actual business is to surrender to the Supreme Personality of God. Isn't it a wonderful story? What did you learn from this story? What are you going to do? Run after the mirage? How many of you want to run after the mirage? Raise both your hands. And how many of you want to surrender yourselves to the Supreme Personality of God? Those who really want to surrender, please raise both of your hands and say, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna Mahamantra ki, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Gaur Premanande. Does anybody have any question? Yes, Srivatsa Prabhu. Thank you so much. I also was remembering how he used to take care of me when I used to come here those days. I was telling Venata Chaitanya Prabhu, those days he used to take care of me so nicely. And we used to have such a wonderful time.
I'm really appreciating your concept and quality which you have received from Srila Prabhupada. And I can understand, everyone can understand how much Srila Prabhupada was empowered by Krishna, and he has given you all the powers to you. In this Maharaj, your concept and quality, in always, I recommend your Dhamma that you have said, was very much easy. So many devotees, thousands of devotees. But still, we don't
Shivatsa Prabhu. Yes, there's a question there. Any other? At the back. We'll pass the mic to him.
But myself feel I'm not qualified to study because also I need to Vaishnava quality. So it takes so much since I'm listening, it takes so much time. So how it is possible to spread Krishna consciousness? It's again in time, you have to get time also.
Is it a matter of time or qualification? Which one you're talking about?
To get qualification, I think I need so much time. So how is it possible?
So Krishna gave me 24 hours a day. So get some time out of it. He gave you 24 hours. So take out another 2-3 hours out of that. Just take out about 2-3 hours. Chant 16 rounds, read Prabhupada's books, associate with devotees. Yes, you'll become qualified. Actually, Krishna wants everyone to become qualified. And Krishna will help, Prabhupada will help. So, it's a matter of time management. Manage your time in such a way that you can utilize it for the real purpose. Tell me, what is more important than becoming a devotee of Krishna? Is there anything more important than that? So if you realized it, how much time you are going to invest for that important business? Right? And the next point is, it is not at all difficult to preach Krishna consciousness. In this respect, often I recall one incident. Those days, Prabhupada's secretary was Shyam-Sundar Prabhu. And Shyam-Sundar Prabhu and his wife, Malati Mataji, used to travel with Srila Prabhupada, with their little daughter, Saraswati. Saraswati was only about 5-6 years old at that time. So Prabhupada was in Delhi. Some very important person came to see Srila Prabhupada. And while he was waiting for Srila Prabhupada, Saraswati was talking to him. And Saraswati asked him, "Do you know Krishna?" The man kind of jokingly replied, "No, I don't know Krishna." Saraswati said, "You don't know Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God." So when Prabhupada heard that, Prabhupada said, "See, this is how simple it is to preach. Even a little child can preach to a minister. You don't know Krishna? Krishna is the Supreme Personality." So that is how easy it is to preach. But first of all, you have to recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God. First you recognize that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and go and tell everybody Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is preaching. We don't have to be a big scholar to become a preacher. We simply have to have implicit faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we are His eternal servant. And becoming His servant is the ultimate goal of life. The question is, Hare Krishna Maharaj, please explain, Maharaj, what is the role of authority in service of Guru? Spiritual authority means Guru. Guru doesn't mean just, there are two types of Gurus, Diksha Guru and Shiksha Guru. So those who give initiation, he is the initiating spiritual master or Diksha Guru. And those who give instructions or guide you in your spiritual path, he is the Shiksha Guru. Or they are the Shiksha Gurus. So authority means, spiritual authority means your guide in your spiritual life. They are your Shiksha Guru. So both Diksha Gurus and Shiksha Gurus are guiding you in your spiritual life. So that is their role. There is no special role as such. It's not that the Guru is going to perform some miracle and take you back to God. Guru will simply show you, both Shiksha Gurus and Diksha Gurus will instruct you, show you how to become qualified to go back to God. But you have to perform, you have to practice. They can teach you, they can tell you, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. But you have to perform. Yes, another question was here. Yeah.
Krishna Maharaj, guidance Maharaj is the word Maharaj. Whenever we hear Bhagavatam cycle, we read Bhagavad Gita, we are witnessing, we are developing spiritual attitude. But once we go, then we are entangled by these material sense gratifications and material things. So how to sustain that spiritual?
Yeah, very good point. Very good point. You see, the way to sustain the spiritual attitude or spiritual life is by remaining in the spiritual association of devotees. Because as you were saying, like when you go out, you get distracted, you get carried away. But if you remain in the association of devotees, then you won't get carried away. Therefore, make it a point to remain in the association of devotees. And if you go to a situation where the association of devotees is not available, rather the materialistic association, then as soon as that is over, come back to the association of devotees. Run back for your life. So that is how we have to actually maintain our spiritual life. And that's why Prabhupada created ISKCON. You can't say you can't get association of devotees. Association of devotees by Prabhupada's mercy is available everywhere. At least in Hyderabad. So just come back to the association of devotees. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Maharaj, the degree I surrender to Krishna, that degree Krishna reciprocates to me. The problem is, because of my conditioned nature, I am unable to surrender to Krishna. It means Krishna cannot be good.
Take the mic.
Like because of my conditioned nature, I am unable to surrender to Krishna. That means Krishna was not reciprocated.
Yeah. The question is that as one surrenders to Krishna, accordingly Krishna reciprocates. But I am not able to surrender. So what to do? Even if I don't surrender, Krishna will obviously not reciprocate. Keep trying. Because you have to surrender. And I can see that you have surrendered. You've surrendered, you're shaved up, you're putting tilak. You moved into the temple, you're chanting the holy name. So these are all the signs of surrender. You have surrendered. Only thing is that probably you don't want to tell us how Krishna is reciprocating.
To recognize the reciprocation
That's what I'm asking. Tell me how Krishna is reciprocating. Don't keep it a secret. Are you feeling happy in Krishna consciousness? Very happy. So that's the reciprocation. Hare Krishna. Okay, so I'll stop. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihāri. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihāri. Jaya Radha Yashodanandana Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihāri. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivarana. Yashodanandana Mṛga-vyasana-lālasaḥ. কামনা চির জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী জয় রাধা মাধব কুঞ্জ বিহারী Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Sai Gaur Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Gaur Premanande Hari jāyām Vishnupād Paramhaṅsa Parivrājaka-acārya Ashtot-tarshatu Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जाय, नामाचार्य शिल हरिदास ठाकुर की जाय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जाय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गो गोपीनाथ, श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जाय। श्री वृंदावन धाम की जाय, श्री मथुरा धाम की जाय, श्री जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जाय, श्री मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जाय। गंगा माई की जाय, जमुना माई की जाय, भक्ति देवी की जाय, तुलसी महारानी की जाय। हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जाय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जाय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि ओम। All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaurango, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 26. King Purañjana goes to the forest to hunt. Text 5. Asuring vrittimashritya ghoratma niranugraha Nyahanan nishitair banai Baneshu banagochara. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. When a man becomes too proud of his material possession, he tries to enjoy his senses in an unrestricted way, being influenced by the modes of passion and ignorance. He is thus described as asuric or demoniac. When people are demoniac in spirit, they are not merciful towards the poor animals. Consequently, they maintain various animal slaughterhouses. This is technically called shuna or himsa, which means the killing of living beings. In Kali Yuga, due to the increase of the modes of passion and ignorance, almost all men are asuric or demoniac. Therefore, they are very much fond of eating flesh, and for this end they maintain various kinds of animal slaughterhouses. In this age of Kali, the propensity for mercy is almost nil. Consequently, there is always fighting and wars between men and nations. Men do not understand that because they unrestrictedly kill so many animals, they also must be slaughtered like animals in big wars. This is very much evident in the Western countries. In the West, slaughterhouses are maintained without restriction, and therefore every 5th or 10th year there is a big war in which countless people are slaughtered, even more cruelly than the animals. Sometimes during war, soldiers keep their enemies in concentration camps and kill them in very cruel ways. These are reactions brought about by unrestricted animal killing in the slaughterhouses and by hunters in the forest. Proud, demoniac persons do not know the laws of nature or the laws of God. Consequently, then they unrestrictedly kill poor animals, not caring for them at all. In the Krishna consciousness movement, animal killing is completely prohibited. One is not accepted as a bona fide student in this movement unless he promises to follow the 4 regulative principles. No animal killing, no intoxication, no illicit sex, and no gambling. This Krishna consciousness movement is the only means by which the sinful activities of men in this age of Kali can be counteracted. asurim vrittimashritya ghoratma niranugraha nyahanan nishitair banair boneshu vanagocharan. At that time, King Purañjana was very much influenced by demoniac propensities. Because of this, his heart became very hard and merciless, and with sharp arrows he killed many innocent animals in the forest, taking no consideration. So, Narad Muni is telling the story of Purañjana. Purañjana is the living entity, the spirit soul, in the material nature. Purañjana has been described as a king. So every living entity thinks himself to be the king. Not only the king or monarch, every living entity in his own way thinks that he is Krishna. He is the supreme personality, the supreme proprietor, the supreme controller. He is a tiny little spiritual spark, doesn't have any means or any ability to do anything, but he thinks that he is the supreme controller. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna mentioned about the living entities' ability. Prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa. In this material nature, in the Prakriti, kriyamanani, everything is happening according to, by the arrangement of guna and karma. Living entity doesn't really have any means to do anything. It's simply a puppet in the hands of guna and karma. There are three modes. There are three modes of material nature: mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. And a living entity acts due to the influence of these three modes. And as a result of that, he gets the reactions of his action. Sometimes he acts in the mode of goodness. When one acts in the mode of goodness, the reaction is accordingly. The action comes accordingly. That is, the reaction is good. When one acts in a mode of passion, then the reaction is also according to the mode of passion. That is very severe. And when one acts in a mode of ignorance, the reaction is very, very unfortunate. How one acts, how every living entity acts in the mode of, according to the influence of the modes. And it's all guna karma situation. Guna and karma. In Bhagavad Gita, you may have noticed there is a picture. Demigods are controlling the living entities, and the living entities are dancing like puppets. And how they're controlling? How does the puppeteer control the puppets? The puppet dancer make the puppet dance? How? With the threads. So gunas and karmas are like the threads with which the demigods are controlling all the living entities, and living entities are dancing like puppets. The puppet is dancing. Does the puppet dance himself? The puppeteer make the puppets dance. So similarly, the demigods are like the puppeteers, and they are making us, the puppets, dance. Through which arrangement? Gunai karmani sarvasha. According to guna and karma. But ahankara vimuratma, the living entity is becoming completely bewildered by his false ego, ahankar. Kartaham iti mannate, he thinks that he is the doer. Puppet is dancing by the arrangement of the puppet dancer, and he is thinking, what a wonderful performance I am giving. The puppet is thinking, oh, people are clapping. All the clap is my credit. I have danced so well. So one of the first things that an intelligent person must learn or understand, that he is not the doer. He is simply a puppet. But not just a puppet like that. He has one prerogative, one freedom, one independence. He can decide how he is going to act. If he acts in the mode of goodness, the reaction will be good. If he acts in the mode of passion, then the reaction will be passionate. If one acts in the mode of ignorance, then the reaction will be painful. Passion and ignorance, they both actually cause pain. Like in the mode of passion, a person wants to enjoy. He is powerful. A king is in a mode of passion. And he wants to enjoy. He has lots of facilities for enjoyment due to the arrangement of passion, because he acted in the mode of passion. He became the king. He got a powerful body. He got a lot of good arrangements, a lot of wonderful arrangements, beautiful queens, not only one queen, many queens, and then concubines and all kinds of things. He has many wonderful arrangements, lives in a big palace, he has a big army, he raised the army. He's enjoying, but then he goes to the battlefield and dies in a battle. That's the mode of passion. You enjoy, and then the reactions of mode of passion is always distressful. Passion and ignorance cause distress. And somebody is in a mode of ignorance. In mode of ignorance, he drinks alcohol, takes intoxication, gets involved in all kinds of abominable activities. And as a result of that, he suffers. He drinks, and drinking, he thinks that now he has become a king. But what actually happened to him? He is rolling in the gutter. Becoming drunk, he fell in the gutter, and he is just lying there. But just before falling there, he was thinking that he became Napoleon Bonaparte. So in this way, passion and ignorance always cause distress, and passion and ignorance always counteract or interact, rather, not counteract, interact. From passion, one goes to ignorance, then ignorance to passion, passion to ignorance. They just fluctuate between these two modes. Like for example, we get up in the morning and we become engaged in various activities in the mode of passion. Then at night we become tired and we fall asleep. We go into the mode of ignorance. Then in the morning again we wake up and start acting in the mode of passion. And then again in the evening or at night we go into the mode of ignorance, sleep. So this is how living entities are just going from passion to ignorance, ignorance to passion. But mode of goodness actually takes us away from that. Takes us out of passion and ignorance. And as a result of the mode of goodness, acting in the mode of goodness, one doesn't get into any distressful situation. He enjoys. Like a person in a mode of goodness, he is aloof from all these passionate activities. Like the Brahmanas, those who are in the mode of goodness, what they used to do in the past, they used to leave their homes and go to the forest. And in the forest, on the bank of a river, they would make a very beautiful ashram. And they would live there, spending their time thinking about Krishna, meditating on Krishna, serving Krishna, discussing about Krishna. So this is in the mode of goodness. Actually not exactly in the mode of goodness. Like those Brahmanas, they are not really devotees of Krishna. They were involved in activities that would elevate them to the heavenly planets. Karmakanda, generally those Brahmanas. But beyond mode of goodness there is the pure goodness. That pure goodness is Krishna consciousness. The goodness in the material nature is tinged with passion and ignorance. Some tinge of passion and ignorance is there. But Suddha Sattva, pure goodness, is Krishna consciousness. So, generally people used to transcend in other ages from ignorance to passion, passion to goodness. Like the kings, they would live their kingdom, go into the forest. Like Maharaj Bharat, like Dhritarashtra, so many kings, even Dhruva Maharaj, they left their kingdom and just went to the forest or went to the Himalayas, and there they became absorbed in transcendental activities in the mode of goodness. But in the age of Kali, as Prabhupada said, the age of Kali is predominantly in the mode of ignorance. There is little passion. There is not so much passion. Like the passion means people in the mode of passion means like people like lions, lion-like personalities. There used to be lion-like personalities. Like the kings of India used to be like that. Very, very powerful person. Like one man could fight with 1,000 people. Like it may sound like, how is it possible? But now look at a lion in the forest. Can a lion fight with 1,000 animals? Other animals? Yes. They were so expert, those kings. But nowadays there is no kings. There is only politicians. If kings are compared to the lions, then the politicians can be compared to the jackals. They don't really have that strength of a king. A king will not really go to wait for the vote of the people. The king is not elected. King becomes a king. He takes his sword and says, I am a king. If anybody wants to stop me from becoming a king, please come. And he fights. And in the fight, if he wins, then he gets the kingdom. If he loses, it's described that he goes to the heavenly planets. Either way, he is a winner. But in the age of Kali, there is no room for the Kshatriyas. The Kshatriyas in the mode of passion were really noble people. And they used to be guided by the Brahmanas. The Varnashram is the perfect system for the human beings. Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. The Brahmanas are in the mode of goodness. Because they're in the mode of goodness, they are not interested in material enjoyment. Material enjoyment is in the mode of passion. Enjoyment for the material sense gratification is a result of passion. So because they are in the mode of goodness, they are not interested in this mundane sense gratification. They would just go away from all these cities and go into the forest or up in the Himalayan mountains, Badarikashram or such places. And there they would spend their time in spiritual activities. So they are the Brahmanas. And then Kshatriyas, those who are in the mode of passion. They're like, because they're in the mode of passion, they're very powerful and they have an intense desire to enjoy this material nature. So nature allowed, the system allowed. Krishna made this arrangement. Okay, you're in the mode of passion, you want to enjoy, go ahead and enjoy. But when you want to enjoy, you have the responsibility of giving protection also. Not just enjoyment and no responsibility. So along with this facility to enjoy comes the responsibility. You have to take the responsibility of the society, manage the society under the guidance of the Brahmanas. Then there is another class of people. They are in the mixed mode of passion and ignorance. Because they are mixed mode of passion and ignorance, they don't have the strength of the Kshatriyas, but they have the desire to enjoy. Therefore the arrangement has been made that okay, you supply the needs of the society, cater to the needs of the society, and they are the Vaishyas. And by doing that, you make your profit. You make your money, and with your money you buy what you want to get. That's the difference between a Vaishya and a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya will not go to the marketplace and buy anything. Kshatriya, whatever he wants, he will say, okay, I want it, and take it. Whether it's a kingdom or whether it's a princess, that's his condition. I want this, like Bhishma wanted to get the daughters of Kashiraj, Amba, Ambika and Ambalika, three most beautiful women of that time. He wanted them to be married to his brother, Vichitrabija. And at that time, the princes, they were about to select their own husbands, Sayambara. The Kshatriya girls used to have that prerogative. They could decide, well, I will marry him. So they could actually select their husband like that. And they would, so many kings and princes have assembled there. So Bhishma just went there and he declared who he was. Said, I am the son of King Shantanu. I hail from the Chandravamsa, the dynasty that comes from the moon god, Chandradev. And I have a younger brother who is ascending the throne, and he needs to get married. So I decided these three princes, so I am taking them for my brother. So if anybody wants to stop me, please come forward. And saying that, Bhishma just took these three princesses on his chariot, just come in, get in. And he got them on the chariot and he confronted all those kings single-handedly, alone. Similarly, Krishna also took Rukmini. It happened with others also, not only with Rukmini, with Mitra Brinda also. There was opposition, the kings tried to stop, but Krishna fought. Same thing with Subhadra. Arjuna took Subhadra away. So this is a Kshatriya. Or a Kshatriya will go to the king and say like, look, I want your kingdom. So either you become submissive to me or you fight with me. So the king, if he recognizes that, well, he is a nice man, I can become submissive to him. So he will surrender to him, and he will maintain his kingdom under his authority, under his sovereignty. But sometimes they would challenge, and in that battle, one person will die. So that is a Kshatriya. He will take whatever he wants by force. And he is so powerful that no one dares to stop him. But at the same time, he gives protection. Not only that he is enjoying, but that those who come under his jurisdiction, he gives them protection. Okay, you surrender unto me, and I will give you all protection. So that is a Kshatriya. A Kshatriya will not make arrangements in exchange of money on those days in the Vedic. But the Vaishyas, they will make money, profit out of their business. Business, what is business? Business, according to the Vedic understanding, business is the way to cater to the demands of the society, and by doing that you make your profit. Need is there in the society, so whatever the society needs, you supply. But in the age of Kali, business got another definition. Business is the noble art of cheating people. That's what they're doing. They are not interested in the demands of the society. They're creating an artificial demand. They create through publicity, through all this, they're making things that people don't really need. But they are making them feel, well, unless you have it, then your life is useless. You don't have a color TV, your life is meaningless. You're still using black and white. You are living in Satya Yuga. Oh, you have a color TV, but it's not a flat bed. A flat. What's it called? A flat? Okay. Oh, you don't have a plasma TV. So this is how they are creating artificial demands, artificial need, and then they're catering to those demands. And the Vaishya and the Sudras, they are not able to decide for themselves what they want to do. They simply want to work under somebody. Okay, you engage me and just give me my food and shall take care of me, I'll be happy. That's a Sudra. Now consider this age of Kali. Are there Brahmanas? Are there many Brahmanas, or are there any Brahmanas? Only in ISKCON there are some Brahmanas. Prabhupada has created some Brahmanas. Otherwise they are not Brahmanas. They are another species. So that is, and in the age of Kali there is no Kshatriya. Democracy doesn't allow the Kshatriya. The little semblance of a Kshatriya we find in the mafias. Mafia is somewhat, I mean, you can see the Kshatriyas, they are the mafias are the only Kshatriyas who are living in this way. The mafias have the code which is very close to the Kshatriya code. It's Kshatriya actually. The mafias, they have there is a godfather and you pay him tax and he'll give you protection. So this is, and they will fight. They'll even give up their lives sometimes to give protection to you because you are paying him tax. So unfortunately, in the age of Kali, there is no Brahmana, no Kshatriya, some Vaishyas, And the rest is, in the age of Kali, Ashuddha Sudra Kalpahi Brahmana Kali Shambhava. In the age of Kali, even the Brahmanas will become like Sudras. So proud, I am a Brahmana. I am Nair. Or in Andhra, what are the Brahmana titles? Anyway, whatever it is. Bhattacharya, Acharya, and so forth. But what is he doing? He is a software engineer in Microsoft and very proud of his position. I am a software engineer. In the age of Kali, everyone is practically a Sudra. Everyone is working for somebody else. There is such elaborate education system, but what is the goal of this education system? What is the goal of this education system? To get a job. To get a job means naukri. Naukri means naukar banna. Naukar means a servant. Servant means a Sudra. So this is the state of affairs in this age of Kali. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu therefore came with a very special arrangement. And that arrangement is Sankirtan. You want a job? Okay. Take the job of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are a Sudra, become the Sudra of Krishna. You want to become a servant? Then become the servant of the biggest boss, Krishna. So this is the most wonderful arrangement that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought to this age. And by being situated in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, we achieve the ultimate perfection of our existence. So I just realized it's 9:10. I have to leave this morning. So I'll just, for about 10 minutes, I'll take questions, answers. Any question?
Maharaj, you elaborated the lion's very prominent name. You also use lion's name, lion's guru.
I see. Okay. That is Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Shinga Guru. That's what you meant? Yeah. Thank you. Any other question?
In Kali Yuga and present scenario, there are no right brahmanas, for example, and no kshatriyas or vaishyas. But what about Sudras? They are also not appropriate Sudras.
What about Sudras? Well, at least they are pretty qualified. They are sincerely searching for a job. And Srila Prabhupada actually is creating the Brahmanas in this society through ISKCON. Not only Brahmanas, the super Brahmanas, Vaishnavas.
How to effectively transcend the modes, Maharaj?
How to?
Effectively transcend the modes.
Yeah. Generally, in other ages, they used to transcend by changing their bodies, birth after birth. Their activities from Sudra's platform would take them to Vaishya platform. A Sudra will not become a Vaishya in this life. That was the general condition in the other ages. And then from Vaishya he will become a Kshatriya. then from Kshatriya he'll become a Brahmana. But it was a consideration of taking up a whole new beginning, through new birth. But in the age of Kali, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave the transcendental process of chanting Hare Krishna and surrendering unto Krishna. And by doing that, just by doing that, one transcends all modes and comes to the Suddha Sattva straight away. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's inconceivable mercy. Okay, we are acting on a puppet under modes, or acting as a puppet under the modes. How are we responsible for the reactions? Yeah, because you have the independence to decide how you're going to act. You're acting under the modes and you're getting the reactions accordingly, but you have the freedom to decide whether you're going to act for your own sake or you're going to act for Krishna's sake. So if you act for your sake, then yes, you will be responsible for your actions because you are acting for your sake. But if you surrender unto Krishna, then Krishna will take all your karma. Whatever the reactions are for your actions, Krishna will take those reactions, and this is how you become free from the reactions of the modes. My question is on the mode of goodness. There is a stage of pure goodness and it is known as Vishuddha Sattva, Vasudeva stage. Can you please explain in brief why it is called Vasudeva stage? Yeah. Sattam Vishuddham Vasudeva Sabditam. The mode of pure goodness, Vishuddha Sattva, is known as Vasudev. Vasudev means the platform on which Krishna appears. So that's why Vasudev is the father of Krishna. So that Vasudev is Vishuddha Sattva because Krishna manifests himself only in Vishuddha Sattva. That's why this Vishuddha Sattva is known as Vasudev, or you can say the name of father of Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. This side please.
You can raise, okay.
My question is, our Vedic scriptures advise all the four varnas not to go for flesh eating. Was this advice in those ages also? The other 3 ages?
The Kshatriyas were allowed to eat meat. But generally, the Brahmanas also would take sanctified meat after some Brahmanas, not all Brahmanas. They would partake to sanctified meat after the sacrifice. But the Vaishnavas, those who are devotees of Krishna, they will not indulge in meat eating.
So was there never an age like, let us say Satyuga, everybody was a devotee of Krishna?
Everybody was not quite devotees of Krishna, but everybody was surrendered to Krishna. Because there are two types. You see, there is Varnashram system and there is Vaishnava platform. Even the sages, not all sages are actually Vaishnavas. They are Brahmanas, but not Vaishnavas. So even in Satyuga, not that everybody was a devotee of Krishna. You see, but Varnashram is the platform which leads to the devotional platform eventually. The society is generally divided according to Varnashram, right? And that varnashram system is Daivi varnashram, generally, submissive or surrendered to Krishna. Like, everybody may not be a devotee, but say the king is devotee. And the king made arrangements that there will be, spiritual, he is acting under Krishna's direction as Krishna's representative. And he is making the arrangement. Like, there may be Vaishyas, they are running their business, but they are not fully surrendered to Krishna. But they are thinking that by performing pious activities, they will become elevated to heavenly planet, where they will have another kind of enjoyment for a long, long time.
What about the places where there is, it is not fertile, where it cannot grow crops?
The place is desert.
Desert, etc. And
Yeah.
ice places where
They're desert, yeah.
And we have to...
Yeah, because where people become sinful, when people become sinful, then Mother Earth takes away the food grains from them. That arrangement. Previously there was no desert. The whole Earth planet was lush and fertile. But it's only recently, because of sinful activities, parts of the world is becoming desert. And the way the world is going, soon the whole planet will become desert. Okay, I will stop now because I have to catch a flight. And who has the mic? We have a question. So anyway, Srivatsa, you also had a question. I'll just take the last one. Anyway, you had a comment actually.
Yes, Maharaj. Actually, I just like...
Take the mic.
I like to tell you, Maharaj, my feeling. 89, you came first time Hyderabad.
89 or 87?
89, Maharaj.
89.
89 you came first.
Oh, 89, right.
You are the chairman of the municipality.
Yeah, right.
And devotee invited you to come for medical problem.
Right.
And from Delhi you came along with Person Krishna Prabhu.
Right.
And you have visited only one time, Maharaj. I request your visit shortly.
Next time I come, I will go to nature.
And there is a facility Maharaj is created, and all these devotees they will also come and stay there. Not very good facility, but some facility can create.
Can you accommodate everybody?
We will try Maharaj next year visit. We'll try.
Under the sky.
And we create some facility, Maharaj.
Okay, thank you. Now, I'm sure he will. Srivatsa is a very good organizer. I'm sure he'll have.
Vedanta is not really like that place. He's coming every year, 3-4 times.
So maybe what we'll do, that we'll go there in the morning and stay there the whole day.
That we are doing, Maharaj, but I want you to be one day, one night.
Okay. Sure.
Vedanta is not true.
Okay, we'll make a plan. So thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. So I'll just stop now. Hare Bol. Gaur Premanande Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki. And once again, I must thank you all very much for allowing me to have this wonderful time with you all. I had a very nice Krishna conscious experience here, and I'm eagerly looking forward to come back again soon. Hare Krishna.
His Holiness Bhakti Charu Maharaj ki.